you that are on the line. Very grateful and very thankful for taking the time out on a Thursday evening to participate in our virtual community meeting. Um, it really shows the commitment, that you all have, that we all have to our mission, to our cause, and just to kind of keep the celebration, the fight, the forward momentum, the focus that we need to have, especially coming out of a very unique and tough year. This is obviously the October meeting, and we are headed into a very interesting next 60 days with the election week of next week, and then into the holiday season. So, one of the things that our development and advancement department put together was just this year end campaign that you're going to hear about. And even more, or equally as important, is the participation of our board members that you're going to hear from this evening. They often work behind the scenes in support of the organization, the residents, the employees, the mission, and the cause. And one of the things that they're going to talk about is just their experience, what led them to Skid Row Housing Trust, what they do, how they're going to continue that quote celebration and fighting for, support, attention, resources, focus, fundraising on behalf of the organization. So just as a very, very high level, as a recap from the last time that we met, the organization celebrated PMC, which stands for Property Management Companies, which is a line of business of ours, 25th anniversary. And as a very quick reminder, that is the frontline staff, along with our case managers that are in the field all day, every day during this year of the pandemic and a lot of the social changes that are happening. So between then and now, we had a very good virtual celebration, really kind of bringing awareness and focus to what they do out in the field and making sure that in the spirit of serving our residents with the treatment that they deserve, with the focus and respect that they deserve, we really kind of brought awareness to that. On the flip side of that, we all know, based on just the information that we're hearing in the news, that there needs to be a continued focus and support for all of those around housing policy, homelessness, just health and wellness in general, both for our residents and our employees. We're seeing an uptick in the COVID-19 cases nationwide, and then Skid Row reflects that uptick as well. So again, the employees, the leadership, and the board really work together behind the scenes to make sure that awareness, focus, attention, resources are placed and continuously fought for while celebrating the wins and the mission that we have. And with that, I would like to thank our board members that are going to be on our panel tonight. Very excited for you all to hear their stories and their commitments and their ideas of what they do and what they share and what they're going to be doing in the next 60 to 90 days to continue their commitment to Skid Row Housing Trust. And with that, thank you all again. And I am now turning it over to Jet Doy.
Thank you, Lee. And thanks everybody for being here with us tonight. We are so excited to share this campaign with you and so excited to introduce you to our board members and share some of their ideas for what they'll be doing. And tonight we're here to talk about Do Something to End Homelessness, which is our year-end campaign. And this is a peer-to-peer campaign, so we are inviting our supporters to help us fundraise their way. And we're going to be going over some examples of different types of campaigns and giving you some ideas tonight. And the campaign will run through the end of December, and we have a lot planned. In addition to the peer-to-peer fundraisers that people are so creatively applying themselves to, and we'll also have a couple of events probably in December, and we'll be releasing more details on those. And then we have 4 resident stories that we'll be using to introduce you to our work and the really extraordinary kind of outcomes in people experiencing housing, so that you can help your friends understand how important it is to bring our unhoused neighbors home and to support our work to do that. The other big elements of the campaign are that Giving Tuesday takes place in the middle of it. It's a global day of giving on December 1st, and people have a lot of opportunity to interact with us however they'd like. If you want to come to an event, you can do that. If you'd like to give on Giving Tuesday, you can do that. If you'd like to make a donation, you can do that. You can set up a fundraiser, or you can organize a fundraising team, and we're going to get into all of those details tonight. The resident videos that we'll be releasing throughout the campaign are pretty exciting. You will all be meeting Mercedes, who lives at the Star Apartments, and Andrew, who lives at the New Carver, and James from the Six, and Teresa from the Abbey. And I don't want to, I guess, spoil any of their stories, but they're all amazing, and they're so different and have had such different experiences and paths into homelessness and paths out of homelessness, and they've every one of them been resilient and extraordinary, and they've stabilized their lives in housing. They're perfect representation of why our work matters so much. And then Erica, could I have the next slide? All right, so there are several different types of campaigns that you'll have the option to run. A personal challenge can be anything. It can be a fitness challenge, it could be a financial challenge, and it could be, the funniest one we've seen is this woman really hates pickles, and she sent people who donated to her campaign videos of her eating pickles because the cause was so important. Workplace fundraisers can be a lot of fun, and we're hoping will be a good resource for some of our corporate partners. The most common one that people do is have people donate to get, denim days. Special occasions you'll be hearing about from Simon tonight. That could be a birthday or a holiday or any other meaningful event. Obviously, tribute and memorial campaigns have tremendous power and emotional weight, and we'll be hearing from Martice tonight about his plans for just such campaign. The Create Your Own campaign is a fun route, and I've already been really delighted by some ideas that we received from Mike Alvidres and by Lisa Rios's campaign. You'll be hearing from her later tonight also. And then there's always socially distanced and virtual events. And so Diane's going to be telling us about her event tonight, and then I'm planning one on my own. So that's what fundraising your way really looks like. And I think now is probably a great time to meet our board members. So Simon, I'd like to start with you. If you could introduce yourself to our audience and let them know about your background and your connection to our mission.
Sure, thanks, Jet. My name is Simon, and I've been on the board for about 6 years now, and I'm the current board chair. I'm a downtown resident. I've been since 2007, and I have a daughter that you'll hear about a little later. But when she was about 3 or 4 years old, we're walking down the street, and there was a man sleeping in the sidewalk. And my daughter asked, "Why is that man sleeping in the sidewalk?" It was in the middle of the day. And I said, well, there's some background noise, so if somebody can mute, please. But when we're walking and she was asking the question, I said, not everybody's as fortunate as us. Not everybody has a home. And she looked at me and said, why don't they give him a home? And I think, as simple as that sounds, that really is the solution to homelessness. And that's when I really decided that I needed to volunteer to make a change. So that's why I'm here. Thank you, Jet.
Thank you, Simon. Martice, how about you? Do you want to share a little bit about your background and what the Trust mission means to you?
Yeah, sure. My name is Martice Mills. I'm vice chair of the Trust. I joined the trust in 2019. I was asked to participate by another board member, Rex Jones, who's kind of like big brother to me. He asked me actually a few years ago to join the trust while I was back in banking. And back in 2019, he approached me again about participating in the trust and joining the board. Unbeknownst to him, it was timely because similar to Simon, who has a story where his daughter noticed homelessness at a very young age and was asking questions. What Rex did not know, and Lee and Simon and the rest of you guys, I'll go ahead and tell it this way. When I arrived to California, to Los Angeles in 1981, my mom, my two sisters, my two little sisters, and my stepdad, we found ourselves in a situation where, for a matter of, I guess, hours, we didn't have a place to stay. And I remember it was raining. It was a thunderstorm, and I was 6 years old. And I just remember walking up Imperial Avenue, seeing the cars pass by. And at 6 years old, not wondering why isn't no one helping us? It was almost as if we were invisible, right? And again, we probably walked maybe 1 mile in the pouring down rain, but it felt like an eternity, okay? And you fast forward to 2020, I feel that, what the trust does is make sure that each of us can no longer pretend that, that invisible population is invisible. So I decided that I joined the trust, I'd be as active as I can to make sure that other 6-year-olds and other adults, that are living in homelessness and battling homelessness doesn't have to go through what I went through as a 6-year-old. So, yeah. So that's why I'm passionate about it. It's something that, reminds me of when I was 6 and did not have people to take care of me. And again, we were not homeless. I want to make sure that I clarify that. But the feeling of homelessness for just a matter of minutes as a child gave me it left a lifelong impression on me to make sure that if I'm ever in a position to help, I'll do all I can to help.
Martice, thank you so much for sharing that. That is awesome.
Yeah.
And Diane, could you go ahead and introduce yourself to our guests and talk about your connection to the mission?
Sure. And Martice, I want to thank you too. That was beautiful. And thank you for sharing that. My name is Diane Ballen, and I'm Vice President of Business Development for Burnham Benefits. I was asked to be on the board a number of years ago after being asked to attend several events. The first year I said no, and the second year I said no, and I continued to attend events. And it was finally to the point where I worked downtown for 20 years. I could see how with the gentrification of downtown, those who are not housed and those who are experiencing homelessness, it was just getting worse and worse. And I just felt that something needed to be done. And the work that is done by the trust is just invaluable. And so I felt like Martice that it was really my duty to be a board member and do all that I could to make sure that we really do something to end homelessness. So thank you.
Thank you, Diane. That is equally very cool. It's so fun seeing you guys and hearing you talk about your passion for the trust, given everything that you do. That's really, really cool. We are about to get into all of your exciting campaign ideas. And the cool thing about this campaign is the ability for people to do whatever is meaningful to them. And Rex Jones is one of our board members who Martice mentioned. And he can't be here tonight, but he's selected a challenge style of campaign. And so he's matching donations up to $1,000. And Mike Alvidres has become the pickleball king of Pasadena in his retirement. And he is offering free pickleball lessons to donors to his campaign. And I'm hoping Lisa will show you her own page. She has done something incredibly thoughtful and beautiful, and I'd like for her to tell you about it when she comes on a little later. So to get started, Diane, would you like to tell everybody what you're doing?
Yes. So the gala that the trust did a couple of weeks ago was such a success that I decided to sort of take that a little bit further, and I'm going to do, oh, look at your doggy. I'm going to do a wine tasting, and I'm going to, those who sign up and donate to the trust will receive boxes of not full bottles of wine, but wine testers or tasters. And we'll have a sommelier that will talk about, I'm sort of passionate about West Coast wines. So whether they're California or Washington or Oregon wines, we'll have a chance to taste some wines and have a little nosh, and as they say in Yiddish, and I hope we'll be able to raise around $5,000. So that's my goal. And so I'm really excited about it.
I am excited about your event too.
You can join.
I can't wait for it. And so to move on, Simon, would you like to talk a little bit about your plans?
Sure, I'd be happy to. So I was telling you about my daughter. She was actually born on my birthday in 2007. So right before she was born, my wife and I moved to downtown because we wanted to raise her in the city within walking distance to all the culture and my office and a lot of other things. Really wanted to be able to spend more time with her because I was working so much as an architect. I was probably working 60, 70 hours a week. So I really needed to be close. So because we have the same birthday, that means that I don't have a birthday anymore. So we've been celebrating together for the last 12 years, and we're getting to our 13th year celebrating together on November 13th. So it's about 2 weeks, exactly 13 days away. She's been counting. So for this year, because of COVID, we're unable to get together with family and friends, and we wanted to make this occasion more special by doing a fundraiser to raise money for Skid Row Housing Trust. So, people that would typically send us cards and gifts, we're going to ask them to, donate money to the trust to help end homelessness.
Thank you for doing that. The first time I ever met you was at an event that the trust had. It had to be 5 or 6 years ago, and you told that same story about Zoe, and I think that her involvement is so inspiring, and the fact that you guys are doing this together is just super cool. And so Martice, that brings us to you. Do you want to share your plans for your campaign? Martice, you're on mute and we can't hear you.
Sorry about that. Can everyone hear me now?
Yes,
okay,
we can.
Okay.
Happens every meeting. Don't worry about it.
Well, during the summer, the trust unfortunately lost a beloved team member in Gary Doherty. He was the apartment manager for the Star Apartments. He was loved by the residents in the community, and he did so much wonderful work for the trust. And, you couple my story from being very young, I felt that honoring Gary would be the most appropriate thing for me to do, because I know how much he meant to the trust, and I know how much, he helped change other individuals' lives. And I want to make sure that whatever funds I do raise, that they're raised in his honor so that the trust can continue to do the work that we do every day. And my goal is to raise $25,000, and I'm going to start it off with a personal donation of $1,000.
Martice, that is so cool. We all love that you're doing this. We all miss Gary so much, and he really does represent just the very best of what the trust is all about. He, went from being a resident to being a critically valuable team member, and we have a lot of rock stars out there on the front line, and we all really miss Gary. It is just so cool that you're honoring him in this way. Thank you for doing that, and thanks for your big goal.
Yeah, it's the least I can do.
A lot of people, There's a ton of data from peer-to-peer fundraising campaigns, and so the number one thing that everybody is concerned about is asking people for money. It just makes a lot of people uncomfortable. And so, Diane, I'm wondering if you have any tips for our audience on that.
Yeah, so under the best of circumstances, I really believe that people want to give, and sometimes they just don't know where to give or how to give. So in these unprecedented times, I really think people just need to be asked, and they need to know where to direct their funds and where to direct their giving. So if you make it easy, as the trust is doing, and we can set up our own campaigns, and the links are there, and everybody can sort of give how they want and when they want, I think that people we book will be more than generous. But the biggest thing is, if people say no, you just can't take it personally. And am I on mute? No. Am I on mute? No.
We can hear you, Diane.
Okay. You can't take it personally. Maybe the timing's not right. Maybe they've had a day, but circle back and just don't give up. I had an aunt who said that the art of giving is the art of living, and she lived to be 100 years old. So she was a really great example, and she was a big philanthropist. So she's my guardian angel, and so I just think ask.
That is great advice. And then Simon, what is your advice for people who are thinking about maybe joining the campaign?
I think I'm going to start giving more so I can live to be 100. I think that's a good point, Diane. I think it's sometimes you have to make it easy, and I think asking, you might be too shy to ask, or have some reservations about asking for money. And I think, that's natural for many of us. But once you ask, you want to make it easy for people to be able to donate, and like a copy paste, right? So that would be great, if you can make it easier.
Well, Lisa is going to show off some of her fantastic tools that she's providing to our fundraisers, and that the campaign will in fact be set up with communications and social media content that's all been written, and it is literally a matter of copying and pasting. And Martice, follow-up is another thing that people struggle with, and it's critical to the success of a campaign like this. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I have two. One, you could be the son of a preacher like me, and my dad never ever was shy about following up on his give or his ask while he was on the pulpit. So you just continue to ask. But in all seriousness, life gets in the way sometimes. Like, things come up, and I know personally I make commitments, and I know that there are things that I've committed to do, but then again, life comes up and you kind of forget to do something. And so the simplest way for me to remember sometimes is to have someone remind me. So just follow up with a person a second, a third, or if you're a preacher like my dad, follow up the fourth time to get, the commitment that, someone has pledged to you.
I love your advice and support for everybody. You guys are just doing such an awesome job. This is really fun to have you here. So I think that once you see the platform, you'll all be very excited about how easy it is to use. And I am available to support anybody who's willing to sign up to fundraise for the trust. And Lisa has generously offered to support our fundraisers, and Erica is available for people who are interested in maybe hosting their own events, and has a truly excellent menu of ideas that she has developed in looking for opportunities for the events we'll be hosting. So with that, I'd like to invite Lisa to come on and introduce herself and talk about her background and her connection to the Trust mission.
Hi, everyone. As Jet mentioned, my name is Lisa, and I'm the project manager for communications at Skid Row Housing Trust. I've been with the trust for almost 2 years and about 6 months with the development and advancement team, which I love. So I have to say that I really feel like everyone deserves a place to call home, and housing really is like foundational to every other basic need. So I feel so passionately about our mission, and for that reason, I was so excited to work on this campaign. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually jump off camera, and I'm going to bring my screen up, and I am going to walk you guys through the campaign site. So give me just one moment. Okay, so this is our campaign site. As Jet has mentioned, it is a Fundraise Your Way campaign, which will allow you to choose your own activity or event to raise funds for Skid Row Housing Trust. Here on the campaign page, we have our fundraising goal, which is $200,000 for this campaign, as well as our progress right here. So from here, you can actually donate directly to the campaign, or you can start a fundraiser. As Jet mentioned, the really cool thing about this campaign is you can start a fundraiser as an individual, or you can start or join a team. So if you're a member of like a virtual book club and you guys want to do something to give back to the community this year, this would be a really great opportunity to do just that. And I'll show you what that team page looks like in a bit. Then down here, we have more information about our campaign. And then we have our menu of options. One thing to note is that you actually don't need to know what kind of fundraiser you want to do before you sign up with your fundraising page. All of these buttons lead you to the same exact form, and you enter your information directly in there, and you can always come back and edit it at a different time. So if you know you want to sign up and fundraise for Skid Row Housing Trust, but you're still brainstorming what you want to do, I would just urge you to create your page, and then you can come back to it at a later time. We also have all of our fundraisers and our fundraising pages and our teams are searchable from here. So if you're looking to join your virtual book club team, you can type in their name there and they'll pop up. We have a leaderboard that has the top fundraising individuals and also the teams. And then down here, we have all of the activity, all of the recent activity to the campaign. So if someone has created a campaign, it'll show up here. If someone has donated to a campaign, it'll also show up. Let's go ahead and take a look at a team page. This is the DNA team, that's development and advancement. So there are Jet and Rebecca. From this page, you can click join the team, or you can donate directly to our team fundraising goal. And for DNA, we are hoping to raise $6,000 as a team. It also displays the leaders in the team. So right now, Rebecca has the most donors at 2, and Jet has the most money raised. If we click on members, you can see all the members that have joined the team. So I'm going to go ahead and open my campaign. This is what the individual campaign site looks like. So I've got my picture, and if you do create a campaign, I do urge you to make use of that photo. So it could either be your photo or something related to the event or activity that you'll be doing. My personal goal is $500. And, it has social share buttons on your page, really easy to donate, like you can't miss that button. And down here is where your fundraiser really comes to life. So this is the story part of the fundraiser, and I chose to do a DIY campaign. So my title is Quilting for a Cause. And what I will be doing is I will be raffling off a handmade quilt to one of my supporters at the end of the year. So I'll be working on the quilt and posting on social media and sharing stories and sharing my progress and hopefully encouraging people to donate for a chance to win a quilt. I mean, who doesn't love quilts? So that's what I'm doing. And this is also where you would personalize if you were having like a personal challenge. This is where you would put all of that information. Same thing with a birthday fundraiser, a memorial tribute, that all goes in this section here. So this is what the single page looks like, the individual fundraiser. And I thought it would be fun to show you just how easy it is to create your page. So I am actually going to, so you can sign up right here at the top, or you can sign up at the bottom. And remember, they all go to the same form. So I am signing up my husband. He is going to, his birthday is in December, so he is going to have a birthday fundraiser. His goal, we talked about it. He's a little anxious because it's his first fundraiser. So he is setting his goal at $200. And his headline is, I'm donating my birthday. And then this offers you the option to create like a short URL. Totally optional. You can do it if you like tweet a lot and you want that short URL that doesn't eat into your characters, but it's not necessary. Here's where he would upload his picture, and I'll have him go back in and do that. And that's it. His campaign is created, and it walks you through everything that you need to do. So if you wanted to manage it, and then it says, hey, you need to add your photo. So you would add your photo. It also tells you to edit your story. So this is where you would go in and really personalize your information, add your photos. So again, really simple. And he's going to come back to this and update it.
Hey, Lisa, can I
Yes.
just, from one who is really technically challenged, that's beautiful. It's so easy. I even think I can do it. So thank you for making it so easy.
Well, we're really glad to hear that, but Diane, rest assured, we are here to help you. Even if you, if anyone needs help, we're here to help them.
Thank you.
So let me go ahead and I'm going to stop sharing this screen, and then I'm going to share something else with you guys. Okay, so this is our really amazing toolkit that is going to help you make your campaign a success. First, we have just a welcome letter with a little bit of information about the trust. And then we have some campaign information here, including important dates and the kind of support that you can expect from us. We have information for setting up your fundraiser, including how to set your goal and how to tell your story. We've included fundraising best practices. So communication really is key with your fundraisers. And we've identified 5 key milestones that you need to push out communications to your network. So we've listed them here. And then this is where the good stuff lies. So for each of those 5 key milestones, we have made it super simple for you to be able to push out your messages to your supporters. So up here we have announcement 1, you're launching your campaign. We have an email template for you to copy, paste, and personalize. We have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and text messages for you. Because this will arrive as a PDF, We also have a link to copy and paste from Google, and we have a link to social media images. Same for announcements 2 through 5. And then, as Jet mentioned, any help that you need at all, we are here for you. So with that, I will throw it over to Jet.
Lisa, you did such a phenomenal job putting these tools together for all of our supporters. And I can't tell you, every time I look at them and think about them, I'm so excited. And as everything has been coming together, and I've watched Erica setting up the events and, you know, working with interviewing our residents, and then hearing from the editor today that she had just fallen in love with the first resident that we're going to introduce you to. And all of that makes it completely real. And the fact that our board members and Mike were so creative and thoughtful, and that you and your colleagues have been so creative and thoughtful in your own campaigns, is just really energizing and fun. Jeff and I are actually, Jeff is going to be working in Korea during most of our campaign. And so we won't be together for a lot of it, but I'm having a virtual cocktail party and sending cocktail kits to guests. And then I've invited 2 of our colleagues who work in housing navigation and really lead that very ably, to talk to my friends and family about what they do and how they bring our unhoused neighbors home, which I think is super interesting. And I know that my friends and family are going to think it's really interesting too. Anyway, with that, if there are no questions, I'd just like to thank everyone so much for their participation. And then Erica, do you have the final slides? Okay, well, it's no big deal if we are having trouble getting those up. The big call to action, you know, is these are specific to this campaign. So we're asking that people consider making a gift, creating a fundraiser, creating or joining a team. And we always, always, always want to encourage people to join our mailing list. That's such an important communication tool for us. And then our next meeting will be in November. So I think everybody has these now. We do them typically the last Thursday of the month, but we appreciate all of your support and everything that you do for the trust. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.